Welcome to the Administering the Summer Food Service Program, SFSP, Program Payments, hosted by the Oklahoma State Department of Education, OSDE, referred to in this training as the state agency, SA. During the training, when directed to the web page, this will always refer to the OSDE SFSP webpage at sde.ok.gov/SDE/summerfood. Unless otherwise specified. The topics covered in this session are advances, program reimbursement, allowable and unallowable program costs, management responsibilities, and non-reimbursable meals. The methods and procedures for program payments are discussed also. Program payments are the reimbursement that sponsors receive based on the number of meals they serve that meet SFSP requirements for reimbursement. When sponsors apply for the program, they have the option to request advance payments. Advance payments may be requested for operating costs, administrative costs, or both operating and administrative costs. Sponsors may not request an advance for operating and administrative costs combined, but must make a request for operating costs and administrative costs separately. When determining the amount of the advance payment, the SA will make the best possible estimate based on the sponsor's request and any other available data. These payments are advances on the reimbursement that sponsors will receive for a month of operation. Advances are considered a short-term loan. Sponsors receiving an advance must pay the advance back. An advance is paid back through deduction from the future reimbursement payment for the month the advance was requested. Sponsors must request each advance payment for operating costs from the SA at least 30 days before the payment dates of June 1st, July 15th, and August 15th. If sponsors participated in the previous year's program, the advance payments for operating costs are usually based on the reimbursement they earned during the same month of the previous year. The SA may also estimate advance payments as a percentage of anticipated costs. A sponsor operating a site for less than 10 days in any given month may not receive an advance for operating costs for that month. Sponsors must request each advance payment for administrative costs from the SA at least 30 days before the payment dates of June 1st and July 15th. Sponsors planning to operate the program for less than 10 days cannot receive advance payments for administrative costs. The SA may adjust the amount of advances based on monitoring or audits. Reimbursements are based on the number of reimbursable meals served multiplied by the sum of administrative and operational rates. Sponsors must maintain complete records to document all costs and meals they claim for reimbursement. Sites must be approved by the SA prior to claiming meals for reimbursement. Sponsors are not eligible for reimbursement unless they have signed an agreement with the SA. The necessary records to be maintained are discussed in the SA training on record keeping located on the web page. Camp sponsors can be reimbursed only for meals served to children who are eligible for free or reduced price meals according to the income guidelines of the NSLP and SBP. With SA approval, camps may claim reimbursement for serving up to 3 meals or 2 meals and 1 snack to eligible children each day. Therefore, a camp may not claim reimbursement for snacks on days that it claims reimbursement for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Alternately, a camp may not claim reimbursement for a third meal on days that it claims a snack for reimbursement. Camp reimbursements are based on the number of children served who are eligible for free or reduced-priced meals. Sponsors of camps must maintain the documentation that demonstrates the free or reduced-price eligibility of the children they claim reimbursement for and must make it available for review by the SA. Camps may also charge non-eligible children a separate fee for meals. Reimbursements may be used to cover allowable operating costs that include but are not limited to the cost of food used, non-food supplies used in the food service, and space for the food service. Reimbursements may be used to cover allowable administrative costs incurred by the organization for activities related to planning, organizing, and administering the SFSP. As previously mentioned, the SFSP has two different levels of administrative reimbursement rates. The higher reimbursement rates are for sponsors of sites that prepare or assemble their own meals, self-prep, and for sponsors of sites located in rural areas. The lower rate is for all other sponsors. A rural area is any area that is not part of a metropolitan statistical area as defined by the Office of Management and Budget, OMB. With the approval of the SA, an area may be defined as rural if it is a part of a metropolitan statistical area, MSA, but is isolated from the urban center. The SA will be able to provide information on whether sites are considered rural for program purposes. According to a study conducted by FNS in 1978, sponsors that prepare their own meals and operate in rural areas may incur higher costs than other sponsors. Therefore, additional administrative reimbursement is provided to sponsors who serve meals at rural sites and for self-prepared meals. The link at the bottom of this slide is for the FNS Rural Designation Mapper. Using this site address, sponsors can determine if a site may be designated as rural for purposes of the FSSP. Unallowable costs are costs for which program funds may not be used. Some examples of unallowable costs are costs for excess meals ordered or prepared but not served to eligible children. For example, meals in excess of legitimate program adult meals and reimbursable meals unless specifically approved by the SA. Meals served in violation of program requirements. For example, foods served that do not meet the meal pattern's requirements, meals or unapproved components consumed off-site, or second meals served in excess of the 2% tolerance. The cost to purchase food, including coffee, etc., for use outside of the SFSP. Repayment of overclaims and other federal debts. The cost of meals served to adults that are not in the operation of the SFSP. Funds accruing to the program must be documented, but will not be deducted from a sponsor's reimbursement. Sources of funds that are considered program income include cash donations specifically identified for use in the program, any federal, state, or local funds specifically provided to the program, income from price of meals served to non-program adults, any reimbursements or funds that exceed a sponsor's expenditures must be used in a way that benefits FSSP services to children or other child nutrition programs operated by the sponsor. Sponsors with funds remaining at the end of the program year should use them as startup funds or for improving the FSSP services in the following year. Sponsors may not transfer excess funds to operations that are not related to the child nutrition programs or to increase salary or fringe benefit costs when the sole purpose of the increase is to reduce the food service program balance. If the sponsor will not be participating in SFSP the next year, funds may be used toward the sponsor's provision of other child nutrition programs. If the sponsor does not operate any other child nutrition program, the SA will collect the excess fund. Based on records regularly submitted by the sites, sponsors must report the number and type of first and second meals served to all children. Sponsors of camps need to report the meals served to eligible children only. The total number of second meals claimed cannot exceed 2% of the number of first meals for each type of meal served during the claiming period. The SA can provide further guidance on serving second meals and on those situations where second meals will not be reimbursed. A sample consolidation form for first and second meals is located under Forms on the web page. Sponsors must maintain records of all operating and administrative costs as well as any program income received. These records must be available for review by the SA at any time. Sponsors that contract with food service management companies, FSMCs, for some or all aspects of the management of the food service program may allow the FSMCs to conduct the same activities for SFSP that are performed for NSLP. Sponsor must maintain responsibility for submitting claims and remains accountable for ensuring all SFSP requirements are met. Sponsors may claim reimbursement only for those meals that meet SFSP requirement. Reimbursement may not be claimed for meals not served as a complete unit, except in offer versus serve sites where complete meals must be offered to participants. Meal patterns or types not approved by the SA. Meals served at sites not approved by the SA. Meals consumed off-site, except in the case of approved field trips. This does not include a fruit or vegetable or grain that the SA and the sponsor may allow to be taken off-site. More than one meal served to a child at a time. Second meals in excess of 2% of the number of first meals served by type during the claiming period. Meals served outside of approved time frames or approved dates of operation. Meals served to ineligible children in camps. For example, those children not meeting the income eligibility guidelines for free or reduced price school meals. Meals that are spoiled or damaged. Meals in excess of the site's approved level of meal service, the site cap. Meals that were not served, or meals served to anyone other than eligible children. In this session, information on advances, reimbursement claims, unallowable costs, and non-reimbursable meals was discussed. An in-depth discussion of program payments is located in the USDA SFSP Administrative Guidance for Sponsors. Sponsors are encouraged to review this to learn more about SFSP program payments. If you have any questions regarding this session, please contact the SA office at 405-521-3327. Thank you for participating in the SFSP training on program payments.